Right, guys, we're just driving along, and I swear to God, that's me. That is me. He's got my hat on. I've got a jacket just like a shirt just like that. I'm a bit taller than him, but that's me. Turn round. Look, he looks like me. It is me. It's absolutely ridiculous. The likeness. As I've said, that we've got about 65 different places to go, but we don't know much about them until we get there. Some of them. This particular one, we know it's a trail and it's got lots of ancient sites along the trail, but we've got here and it's a very, very, very long walk. We haven't got time, but just around the corner we believe there's a broch dated from 100 BC to 100 AD. Might be worth just checking that out because it's just over this hill, past some sheep. So we've just arrived at the broch. It's from when Jesus were born, or before, possibly. It's old. But the problem with it is, it's rubbish. It's just a pile of stones, man. We could have picked any pile of stones and said they're as old as Jesus. Because all stones are. But there's nothing to it. Okay, once upon a time this used to be some kind of building. I don't know, maybe some apartment blocks. Car park, I don't know, but that's all what's left of it. Them two bricks on top of each other, that's meant to be like that. A human being did that in Jesus' times, but the rest of it, it's just a pile of rocks. It's rubbish. What do you think? Rubbish. We're not happy, but luckily we didn't walk very far. So we're now in St Mary's Chapel. This is one of the oldest chapels in the whole of this county. Believed to be from the 1100s, but it could be a lot earlier because there's burial stones found just like a mile or two away from here, which dating back to, I think, the 900s. The Vikings used to rule all this area, and they even came on the Scottish mainland and ruled quite a bit of this as well back in them days. So whether this is just after the Vikings, I don't know. But we've come in here and there's people called Gunn buried here. We've got Alexander Gunn, 1857, 1839, but look at this one. This amazes me. It's from 1778. Now, I'm not going to be able to read it to you because we've just tried it and it took us 10 minutes. But I just want to show you this. Because I've seen this on a few graves. Here by something. Donald Gunn, son to the something... I don't know, Donald Gunn. I can't make it out, but it's things like this which really interest me. Firstly, you don't always get a gap in between the words. Secondly, they used, like that says arrested. Arrested. They just used to put things in a long line. They didn't separate things properly. But yeah, that's an interesting story. It tells you about this guy who, when he died, he left a debt, I think. He got arrested because he had a debt, but I can't really make out much more than that. But yeah, the Gunn family buried in here. Excuse me hair, it's just a windy day, I've given up on it. But look at this gravestone. I've never seen anything like this on a gravestone before in my life. To me, that almost looks like a child in the fetal position. You've got like a head there, hands there, legs going round there. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But that's really quite spooky. This one's pretty special, 1763. And as you can see at the bottom, it's got a skull and bones and like a poison bottle next to it, and a coffin, and another little symbol. I can't work that one out. These graves are old. Most of the good ones I've found so far are 1700s. But it's just fascinating to see what they used to write and put on them all them years ago. Where we are at the moment, guys, Dunnet Head. We're not at Dunnet Head, but you can see it over there. Or I can anyway. We're going there in a moment, but that is the furthest, most northerly part of mainland Great Britain. And right here is a memorial to the Dunnett family. So there's Dunnetts lived near Dunnett Head, and this is pretty much staring over at Dunnett Head. That's pretty cool. That's from like 1900. So yeah, I don't know. I want to know why it's called Dunnett Head now. It must be something to do with this family, or vice versa. Don't you start, Rex. It wasn't Rex in the other video, by the way, who kept doing this with the sticks. No, he'll chew it and then he'll just put a little bit on the lap. Yeah, thank you very much. Lovely game. I love this game, do you? Yeah, we're loving this game. Let's see how far I can throw it. Oh, yeah, all the way down there. Hello, I've brought you to somewhere you won't see very often on a video. The reason being there's nowhere to stop near it. It's right next to the main road. And there's no stopping spaces for like a mile at least either way. So, my Julie's in my car over there. My Martin's in his car down there, waiting for me to film it, and then he's going to pick me up in 5 minutes. I won't need 5 minutes because it's a very, very quick story. This, my friends, is the Splitting Stone, the old Splitting Stone, just outside Melvick. It's also known as the Devil's Stone for a reason. You see how it is, a huge stone split in half. Now, the story goes it was the devil who did that in anger. There was a little old lady and she lived in Melvick and she was walking home. And as she came past this stone, the devil was around. The devil was there and he says, "Hey, stop, little old lady. I want your soul." She says, "Hey, you're not having my soul." "Oh, no. So what she did, he's over here is the devil. Well, he's over there actually. She's over here. This was one old stone at the time. And then he starts coming round for her. So what does she do? She runs round this side. So now he's at the other side. He can't get her. She just keeps running round and round in circles. And the devil can't catch up with her. So he gets really mad. Really mad. So he basically just gets his hand and gives like a big karate chop. Bang! Straight down there. Splits it in half. And that's why the stone is split. So what happened to the little old lady and the devil, you might ask yourself? Well, that's where I can't help you. No idea. Nothing in the books say what happened to the poor little old lady or the devil. The big bad devil. But that is the result. That is the Splitting Stone of Melvick. Interesting story. Not sure if it's true. Whilst I'm waiting for Martin, I'll just tell you the story of the day so far. We've had the most eventful morning ever. We got up, we packed up, got in the car. Julie goes in her pocket for her car keys. No car keys. She was looking for them for half an hour. And I says, "I bet they're in the tent." So we had to get everything out of the car anyway. Got the tent out and they were still in the tent. So we got them. And then we saw a dolphin and 3 seals at Durness in the sea. Beautiful, beautiful beach there. And then the camper van next to us got stuck, huge camper van. So trying to guide him out, helping him out, pushing him. Julie got mud and grass all over her pants from pushing near the wheel. Amateur mistake. Then what happened? Then we set off. We got stuck behind a white car and we're having to beep and beep and beep at it. That went out of the way. Then we got stuck behind some Highland cattle. It was hilarious. But we've got here in the end. And here he is. Timed that well, didn't he? Come on, let's go. As me Julie's just pointed out, that rock formation there looks just like a shipwreck. A sunken boat, like a big battleship. The most sensible thing she's said all week. It really does look like that. Right, we're in Thurso. We're at Old St Peter's Church. It's not St Peter's Church or the other St Peter's Church. Yes, this is the 3rd church we've found. And it's like in the middle of a housing estate. It's really weird. It's like a big town is Thurso compared to the rest of the area. And it's just all modern and looks pretty rubbish. And then you've got this beautiful old church ruin slap bang in the middle. So the church was built in 1125 and they stopped using it in 1832. Me Julie, which country do you come from?
Ireland.
Ireland. Are you Irish then?
Northern Irish.
You're Irish. In 1649 the Irish came over here and tried to raid this church. Did you know about this? They came over, they were led by a guy called Donald Mulloch. Is that an Irish name?
Probably.
Yeah, it will be. She'll know his family. And he came over and the locals saw them off. They had a big fight and they were led by James Sinclair. Now, the best part of this story is James Sinclair. He were a bit wounded, but his servant was there. So she ripped off a button from his coat, put it in her musket and shot at the leader of the Irish and killed him with a button. How cool is that? So your Irish guy died, the Irish raiders lost. It wasn't a good year for you, really, was it?
It's okay. I wasn't born.
Yeah,
okay.
But you're still Irish and you should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, yeah, that's when the Irish came over and got their heads kicked in. That one looks really good. It's all worn, you can't see anything on it apart from, at the bottom, the big skull and crossbones. So just 5 years after the Irish got the butts kicked by the Scots in this very spot I'm standing in now, just where Julie, the Irish woman's standing at the moment over there, and just where the Scots man is over there, there's going to be another fight. And a Scotsman and an Irish woman and an Englishman recording it just for laughs. Anyway, 5 years later, there's records of a witch being held here. They used to have trials here for criminals. And what happened is a local guy used to brew whiskey. And his whiskey wasn't turning out right. He couldn't understand what was wrong with it. Anyway, he noticed that there was a local cat. Every time he looked out at his barrel of whiskey, there was a cat had its paw inside his whiskey. So one night he's waiting for this cat to turn up. It puts its paw into his barrel of whiskey and he cuts its paw off. Now when he comes to empty the barrel, there's no paw in the bottom. All there is a human hand. So he was convinced that that was witchcraft. And then a little old lady came into town and she had a bandage on her arm, on her hand. And he says, that'll be her, that must be her. You know, there's not many people in this village and she's got a bandage over her hand. She's a witch. She was disguised as a cat and she was ruining my whiskey. I want her tried. This is a true story, guys. They actually tried her. They brought her here and they tried her. And she was seen as a witchcraft and imprisoned for the rest of her life. How weird and insane is the law in Scotland, or in Thurso anyway. Great story. Then in 1701, a woman had sex with a Dutch sailor and she was tried here. And what they did as a punishment is shaved all her hair off and the local hangman paraded her through the streets of Thurso naked with a shaved head. True story, 1701. If you go forward in time a bit further, probably early 1800s, in the rafters of the church, boys used to sit in the actual wooden rafters listening to the sermons, and they'd regularly fall off the rafters into the bottom where the service was being held and disturb the service. Again, that's a true story. Yeah, there's somebody buried in a wall there maybe, who knows, but it's a skull and crossbones. We just found a funny one. You have to laugh at this. A cow. There's a cow buried there. No dates, no words, no nothing. Just a cow. How odd. There's a letter it's probably in a local museum now, but they found a letter dated 1786 in which somebody complained about poop and rubbish, proper poop and rubbish being thrown on the graves in here. Yuck. And as recently as 2013, some local yobby vandals, like complete prats, came and destroyed 5 of the headstones. Now, I'm guessing this is one of them. I don't know. There's a few lying down on the floor here. I would have thought, it made the news and everything, I would have thought somebody would have come along and repaired them, but they haven't done. But yeah, it's disgusting. No need for it. There's another skull and crossbones here. This is a beauty. Look at that, how prominent that is. I would say that is probably the best arched window I've ever seen in a church. How that is still held together, I do not know. Just looks like it'd crumble in a 5-mile-an-hour wind. That is lovely. As much as I do love this church and graveyard, it's absolutely battered. I'm guessing this is one good reason you don't have churchyards right in the centre of a housing estate. Just vandals, completely destroyed. Loads and loads of the graves. Shame on them.